Hey everybody, Joe here from Avalon. In this video, I'm going to save you a bunch of time and hassle when it comes to your year-end accounting. So many business owners dread this time of year because of the never-ending questions and info requests from their accountants. Plus, there's that fun surprise you get when you find out how much tax you owe. But it doesn't have to be like this. Stick around and I'll take you through the 8 steps that you need to follow to make sure your year-end accounting is quick and painless. So all that and nothing else coming right up. All right, so this may seem a bit obvious, but the first step is to make sure that all transactions for the year have been recorded. Or another way of putting it is making sure that your bookkeeping has been completed for the year. So if you've been doing your own bookkeeping, that means reviewing your supporting documents to make sure that you've recorded everything. So check that you've recorded all transactions from your bank and credit card statements. Review all sales invoices leading up to the year end to make sure they've been recorded. And confirm that you've recorded all expense receipts in your bookkeeping as well. Completing the bookkeeping means recording current year bills and invoices even if they haven't yet been paid. So this is called accrual accounting as opposed to cash basis accounting. Accrual accounting is needed to properly file your corporate tax return. It's also the method that most professional bookkeepers will use to record your transactions. If you want to learn more about how to do your own bookkeeping, we've built a course that takes you from beginner to accomplished bookkeeper. Check out a link in the description below for our small business bookkeeping course. You'll learn how to set up your books in Xero and automate it as much as possible to save you time and minimize errors. All right, once you or your bookkeeper has recorded all of the transactions, the next step is to do a bank reconciliation. A bank reconciliation helps you make sure that all transactions in your bookkeeping software are the same as what is recorded in your bank and credit card statements. Using bookkeeping software like Xero or QuickBooks makes completing bank recs much easier. If you're not sure how to do a bank reconciliation, check out the links in the description below. We've linked general instructions on how to do a bank rec and also how they work in Xero and QuickBooks. But if bookkeeping and bank reconciliations aren't your thing, you can always hire a bookkeeper to help out with this process. So check out our video on how to hire a bookkeeper if you're leaning towards this option. There's a link for that in the description below and also right here. All right, step 3 is to review your financial statements. Once your bookkeeping is completed for the year, it's a great idea to look through your income statement and balance sheet and make sure things appear correct. Go through each line and look for dollar amounts that don't seem to make sense. You may quickly find a few mistakes that you can correct before sending your books to your accountant. So look for things like negative account balances that seem too high or too low, and large differences between account balances from the previous year. If you do find something that looks off, click into that account and check out each transaction to make sure it belongs. Once you've checked your income statement and balance sheet, you can move on to the next step, which is reviewing your accounts receivable. It's a good idea to review your accounts receivable regularly to make sure you're getting paid when you should be. You should also check your AR listings for errors. For example, you may have received a payment but not applied it to the correct invoice. Or you might find that you've not been paid and need to follow up with that customer. Run an aged receivables report in your bookkeeping software at your year-end date. Look through the list of outstanding invoices and consider if it has been paid for each invoice or not. The most likely place you will find issues with your AR is in the column showing the oldest invoices. Investigate any items that don't look correct and check if you think that some invoices are missing. You can contact customers who are late in paying while you're at it. Really important.
Show me the money!
The next step is to look into your payables account to make sure everything is up to date and correct. This step looks similar to the last one, but you'll be checking into your account's payable reports instead of receivables. Run the aged payables report in your bookkeeping software and go through all line items listed to see if they make sense. Review each item and consider if any of the outstanding payables have already been paid. That's one. And it may be that a payment was misapplied or recorded as a new expense instead of paying off that existing bill. On the flip side, think back and consider if you have any unpaid bills that aren't listed on your payables report. You could have missed something and you can quickly record it in your books. Making sure that all of the appropriate expenses are recorded will also help reduce your tax bill, so really important incentive there as well. If you have inventory of any kind in your business, the next step is to perform an inventory count. If you don't sell inventory, feel free to skip to the next step in the video. It's important to make sure that the value of your inventory on hand is known at your year-end date. This is typically done by a physical count of your inventory on the final day of your fiscal year. If your year-end has passed, that's okay. Do an inventory count as close as possible to the year-end date to provide a reasonable inventory number for your accountant. Count up your widgets, bottles of vinegar, car batteries, or whatever your inventory consists of. Write that number down and calculate the total inventory value by applying your cost per unit. Often this is easier said than done, so estimation may be required. I mean, how much are 6 half-full bottles of vinegar worth anyways? You can find a bit more info on how to do an inventory count linked in the description below as well. All right, congratulations, you're almost ready to send off everything to your accountant. But first, the year end is a great opportunity to reflect on your business at a higher level. Is your business providing the income, time, and enjoyment that you had hoped it would? Or is it stressful and all-consuming? I mean, lots of businesses are, right? What goals did you have for your business at the start of the year, and did you achieve them? Looking at the bigger picture will help you make decisions on how to improve how your business operates. Running a business is hard, and there are going to be times when things don't go to plan, but you at least want to know that you're moving in the right direction. So if you're like me, you probably created your business to support your desired lifestyle, not to build yourself a job with all the stress and only a medium amount of income. Write down your thoughts and take those notes with you when you meet with your accountant after the year-end work is finished. Your accountant can hopefully provide some guidance and support you on how to achieve those goals. That's really what we're looking for with an accountant relationship. All right, you've done the more difficult parts already, and the last step is to send that info off to your accountant. If you have a checklist from your accountant, go through that and compile all the information in one place. This might be a folder if your accountant uses physical documents, or more commonly these days, you can digitize everything and upload it to a shared storage with your accountant. If your accountant didn't provide a list of info to send, don't worry. Send what you have now, and your accountant can always follow up with additional requests. We typically ask for the following information, so start here and your accountant should be quite happy. Bank statements. Send your bank and credit card statements for the final month of the fiscal year and the first month of the new fiscal year. Trial balance. Send an Excel or PDF copy of the trial balance for the last day of the year. You can typically find this in your reporting section of your bookkeeping software. General ledger. Upload an Excel copy of the general ledger for the fiscal year. AR and AP. Send your accounts payable aging report and your accounts payable aging report dated on the final day of your fiscal year. Capital asset purchase details. For any large capital asset purchases, it's best to include the supporting purchase document like a bill or at least a description of what was purchased. Other supporting documents. Review your balance sheet and include supporting documents for any other balance sheet accounts that exist. For example, an inventory count and cost calculation to support the inventory balance on hand at year-end, loan documents showing the year-end loan balance if you have any debt on the balance sheet. You can also scan through the balance sheet and check off accounts and as you compile the documentation. The idea is to provide support for each account balance at the year-end date. Share capital info. Include your incorporation and share capital documents if it's the first year of filing with your accountant, or if there have been any changes in the share capital for the year. Confirm that you've closed the books. It's best practice to close and lock your books for the year once you've sent your information to your accountant. If you make changes to your books after your accountant has started on the year end, it can significantly increase their work. If your accountant charges by the hour, this will cause the bill to balloon as well. This list should really help you and your accountant get down to work on your year end and avoid a bunch of back and forth as they gather more information from you. It will mean a faster turnaround for you and likely a smaller bill if your accountant charges hourly. And that's the final goal with this year-end checklist. We want to save you and your accountant time and make everyone's lives easier. It certainly is true that we like to see tidy year-end books here at Avalon, but what really gets us excited is helping business owners achieve success. That's a big part of why we started this channel and why we make these videos. So please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments with your questions. We're happy to provide general guidance and take your suggestions for new video topics as well. If you have enjoyed this video or it's been helpful for you, please hit that like button. And if you like content like this or are a small business owner yourself, please consider subscribing. We really appreciate all the support that we get. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.